I believe things are going to get heavier for the world of Dragon Ball this time around. Hey guys, DB right here, and today I'm back with a new what if that was suggested to me in the comments by one Timothy Fraser. And that is, what if the Dragon Team did gravity training? And, well, he suggested that I start this story during the 5-year time skip between the Piccolo Jr. saga and the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan saga. However, I'm just going to go back a little bit further, just while Goku was still going under his tutelage with Kami, because we need a way to actually introduce gravity training to Goku. Before, as we know, he wasn't introduced to gravity training in the original after he's killed by Piccolo's special beam cannon and trains on King Kai's planetary world that has roughly the same sort of gravity difference as planet Vegeta. And well, so in order to introduce this early so it's at least going to work, when we get into the Saiyan arc, we've got to introduce it to him before the Piccolo Jr. arc. After all, that is when he spends his month in the Room of Spirit and Time and gets a little taste of what gravity training is like. Because after all, the Room of Spirit and Time does all sorts of different things, from temperature changes, all sorts of other hazards, and one of them includes the change in gravity. Sometimes it goes lower, sometimes it goes up. You don't know what gravity you're going to be walking in when you're in the Room of Spirit and Time, which is why it's quite effective for spending a year in the place in training. And so yeah, so this has taken place about a month after Goku had exited the chamber after nearly going insane in the place, and it took about a month for him to, say, get over it. But nevertheless, the month he spent in that chamber did wonders for his power, and he had gotten himself a bit stronger because of it. Whether he experienced the different changes in gravity or not, and yes, I would assure you that yes, he would have experienced gravity changes. And well, after catching on that that room did make him go strong, he began pondering why it made such a difference. He couldn't be able to stand another trip into that chamber right now, or anything like that. So he sort of had to question Kami on why the chamber actually made such a big difference for him. And this is where Kami accidentally slipped that it was most likely the gravity changes. Your species have a tendency to be able to fight well in gravity changes and get stronger for it. Now, Goku brushes off when Kami said the word species, thinking he was referring to humans. But no, Kami was accidentally referring to Saiyans. And then it basically dawned on Kami that perhaps Goku would actually benefit on knowing what he is, knowing he's a Saiyan, and experiencing training that's just the gravity change. It's just gravity training. So, with that, Kami and Mr. Popo once again lead him into another room that we've only seen in the fillers. The room that could transport people to other points in time in the universe. And, yes, I know it's only filler and it's probably not canon, but it's still something that, to me, exists in the lore of Dragon Ball, and so I don't see why we can't use this. So, with that, Goku stands under the pendulum, and much like in the filler episode where he was transported to a moment in the past where he got to train with a younger Master Roshi who was just a student himself under Mutai Ito, he is transported even... Well, he's transported to a place before even the events of Dragon Ball begin. In fact, post the destruction of planet Vegeta. In fact, that's exactly where Goku is going. Kami has sent him to his homeworld a good, say, month or two before Frieza intends to blow it up. And immediately when Goku arrives on the planet, he's having difficulty standing in the gravity of planet Vegeta. He's walking around much like he does on King Kai's planet. Well, I guess this will make me really strong. I can barely walk in this. And he's walking into town, and all these other Saiyans are just eyeballing him walking like this. Huh. Must be another weakling that managed to survive his mission and come back. Because remember, Saiyans have the tendency to send newborn babies up into space in order to conquer planets. And by the time those Saiyans become of age and have conquered the planets, they would have gotten used to the gravity of that planet, so it wouldn't be surprising once those babies return to planet Vegeta, they're probably walking around like this for a little while. And well, it's kind of an amusing sight with the more experienced Saiyans, some of which who have probably been through this themselves, are just reminiscing of their childhood memories. However, Goku, unlike most Saiyans, has not conquered the planet he was sent to at all. In fact, technically he hasn't even been sent there yet. And he's not there. He's not there to change history or anything like that. Otherwise, he'd be getting a knock on the door by the Supreme Kai of Time. Nah, this is just for his training. And well, he's walking by and he happens to come upon this diner. And he's definitely hungry after walking around in that gravity. However, he doesn't have any of the currency to buy the food. And who's minding this diner? This Saiyan diner? Why, it's Gine, of course, who gets a look at him, and she's quite taken back with the fact that this Saiyan has the same sort of haircut as her husband Bardock, as well as little Kakarot, who's right now in his nursing capsule. And well, he wants something to eat, but he can't pay for this. And well, Gine, being a kind-hearted Saiyan, well, pretty much not long after Kakarot basically passes out, he can't take that gravity anymore. He just passes out. And he's like, "Oh my goodness, are you alright? Raditz, get out here, help me bring him in." Yes, Raditz is around yet. He only just joined the military. He hasn't been sent off on his mission with Prince Vegeta yet. So he's helping Gine bring this Saiyan in. "Why are we helping some random child out from the street? That's not Saiyan-like." But Gine just sort of brushes Raditz aside and basically reminds her that she once herself was basically a homeless Saiyan street child that was abandoned by her parents. After all, that's basically what Saiyans did if you were too weak. You were too much of a burden on your parents if you were that weak, couldn't defend yourself. So it was best to leave you to your own devices and get stronger that way, while the Saiyans could continue having their career, working for Frieza, and try and go up in the ranks that way. I know it's a harsh reality, but that was it. But Gine could not bring herself to turn this child away. Like she could almost feel like a sort of connection with this young man somehow. This kid who looks like he could be an older version of her youngest son. Or the way Bardock used to look like as a child. Or that Turles guy that she met a couple of times. And, well, Kakarot wakes up in this bed, and Gine is sitting right by his side. "You had us worried there. I guess you're a new return, not used to the gravity yet. Here, get some of this in you." Offers him a whole buffet of food. Get this in you, and you'll adjust to this gravity in no time. And well, you don't have to tell Goku twice, and he is just wolfing it down and eating it, and after he is done, he is definitely feeling a lot better. So, he had to ask, what is this place? What? You don't know your homeworld? This is planet Vegeta. My homeworld? But I'm from somewhere else. I'm a human. And well, these words are just going over Gine, doesn't know what a human being is and what this Earth is. And she's like, she's basically just coming to the conclusion that this boy didn't even conquer the world he was supposed to be on in that case. But she's not going to turn him in or anything like that. The boy would be executed. And he was just so thankful and loved his mother's cooking. Well, not that he realizes that the very woman who's feeding him is his actual mother. And of course, she doesn't even begin to suspect that he's Kakarot. I mean, why would he? Why would she? Kakarot is sleeping in the capsule in the next room. And, well, Guinea's starts looking at Goku's head and sees a big scar on his scalp. From the big fall from the canyon. Whoever this Saiyan is, he's forgotten all about everything. And, well, it's basically settled. Gine is not letting this child out of her sight, at least until she can figure out what to do with him. She'll speak to Bardock about it when he returns. And, well, Goku is still struggling to handle this gravity for the next couple of days. And he does try to have a couple of sparring sessions with the older boy, Raditz, and well, yeah, it's not working out too well for Goku, being, his power level currently what it is, and, mind you, he's weaker than Gine at this point. He's right now heading about the 300 mark. Of course, he's getting stronger each time he moves about in the gravity. However, Raditz is still the stronger one still, and Goku's getting beaten. And well, one day something happens at the diner. Kakarot for now is basically helping Gine out at the diner, and Popo and Kami are watching on with watchful eyes of what's happening here. He's like, are you sure it was wise to really send him here? Don't worry, Mr. Popo. It is important that Goku find out what he is. It'll only benefit him in the future. Oh, if you're sure, Kami. I don't know about this. Anyway, as I was saying, something happens in the diner. Dodoria and Zarbon decide to show up and cause a bit of trouble because, Zarbon and Dodoria do that. None of the Saiyans are stupid enough to challenge Zarbon and Dodoria because, well, they are stronger. Zarbon and Dodoria are stronger than most of the Saiyans there. Well, pretty much all the Saiyans that are there. So, right now, being gutless and under Cell 2 to Frieza, the Saiyans aren't really doing much to stop them from causing trouble. And, needless to say, they help themselves to a free meal at Gine's diner, pretty much scoffing down everything, and then throwing it saying that it's inferior cooking. And then, Dodoria grabbing Gine. You may be Bardock's woman, but he's not here to protect you at the moment, is he? You call this worthless slops of food? I've tasted aliens better than this. Throws her to the ground. Now, Goku, being Goku, does not like this one little bit. He, goes up to him, and he gets a surprising shot in on Zarbon and Dodoria. Now, him being his power level it doesn't do much, but their guard was down, so it did hurt them a bit, make them fall to the ground. What? How dare you? Everyone looking at shock to see this Saiyan, who's weaker than Gine, standing up to the likes of Zarbon and Dodoria. Hey, who is this brat? Hey, doesn't this one kind of look like Bardock to you, Zarbon? Oh, now that you mention it, he kind of does. Tell me, Gine, is he yours? Gine, not answering, she's telling Goku to run. Of course, Goku had told Gine his name was Goku, not exactly a Saiyan name. Goku, is it? Ha! What kind of a Saiyan name is that? And well, needless to say, Goku's not running. What you did to Gine wasn't very nice. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Oh, look. This Saiyan thinks he is tough. What's your power level? It's about 380. And which is higher than what it was when he first arrived, but it's still, you know, nothing compared to what Zarbon and Dodoria are. It's nothing even compared to what Gine is. I can't believe it. You're actually weaker than Gine. Finally, a Saiyan weaker than you, Gine. That must make you feel so proud. And, well, Goku tries to charge Zarbon and Dodoria again, but both of them just throw a double knee into Goku, and the two were about to destroy him. But don't worry, Kami and Popo will pull him back to his own time if it comes to that. However, Raditz and Gine get in the way of Dodoria and Zarbon, and the other Saiyans are not liking what Zarbon and Dodoria are doing. Remember, the Saiyans do not respect Zarbon and Dodoria in the slightest. To them, Zarbon and Dodoria are just a couple of guys who live off the teat of Frieza. So, to them, they don't know what true strength is. And if they make a move on Gine Raditz and this Goku, they will fight back. And they will. So, this does make Zarbon and Dodoria a little bit nervous, because if they start killing Saiyans left, right, and center, this could start a revolt, a complete Saiyan revolt. All-out war with the Saiyans, and that's not good for anybody, especially the Frieza Force. And Frieza hadn't even considered destroying the planet yet. His paranoia hasn't quite gotten to the best of Frieza yet. And well, Zarbon and Dodoria still aren't quite backing down, charging a power beam. You monkeys do anything, what happens to them is gonna happen to you. But this is when Bardock makes his appearance. Hey! Is there a problem here? And this gets Zarbon and Dodoria to power down. Bardock, even though he's not powerful enough to stand up to Dodoria and Zarbon, with all the other Saiyans then, they actually could pose a threat. So it's better to just let the thing go. Huh. No problem here, but you should keep your family in line. Just take note for the future. After all, next time, you might not be around. With that, Dodoria and Zarbon take their leave, and Bardock demanding to know what had happened here, and that, well, Goku is lying there unconscious, and well, Bardock just says, we better get this one inside then. And well, Goku once again in bed, and wakes up to see his whole family that he doesn't know standing behind him. What happened? I hate to say it, but you had a run-in with Zarbon Dodoria, Lord Frieza's men. I gotta say, it was pretty stupid you standing up to them like that. However, I gotta say, I admire your guts, kid. And Raditz getting a little bit jealous here because Bardock has never given Raditz a sort of comment like this. And, yeah, it's just surprising, and even Bardock is surprised he's given this, saying he doesn't know his, respects, as it were. You're actually weaker than my wife, but you had the guts to stand up to Zarbon and Dodoria. I'll tell you what, come with me. And well, Bardock decides he's going to have a bit of a training match with his, I guess you could say, his future son. And, he doesn't even understand why he's really doing this. Like I said, there's just some sort of connection that he's sensing between them. And well, Bardock has to really die down his power, because if he uses way too much power, he could end up killing Goku, and he doesn't want that. And well, so he's basically just using a little bit more power than what Goku uses. Just enough to keep the match interesting, but at the same time, he doesn't want to lose either. And well, the sparring match goes off without a hitch, and surprisingly, Goku's doing really well. It's just these martial art moves that he's pulling off, like the after image technique and Kamehameha and things like that, are basically catching Bardock off guard. Because remember, Bardock can't sense energy. He's got to use a scouter to detect Goku. When Goku's masking his energy, that scouter's not picking up anything. And Goku is using that to his advantage. And since Goku can sense energy, Goku can just keep attacking and attack whenever he so chooses. So Raditz can't believe that someone this much weaker than his father is doing this well against him. Not even Raditz has ever done this well against him. And this was Bardock using basically the same kind of level of power that he's using on Goku. And ultimately, it is Bardock who gets the win. He just turns up the juice a bit more and pretty much lays him out with a single hit. But he can't help but be impressed. A kid that weak has come so far. You know what, kid? I expect great things from you in the future. Don't let me down. And well, Goku does manage to pull himself up eventually. It's a lot of fun. I learned a lot. And don't worry, I won't let you down. We'll fight again sometime. After all, remember, Goku has no idea what's happened to his home world. And, well, with Gine and Raditz, who were watching the sparring match, suddenly a voice is heard through to all of them. It is the voice of Kami. Alright, Goku, it is now time for you to come back. I trust this trip was very knowledgeable for you. Oh, it was! Okay, be ready, stand perfectly still. Really, Goku? You have to go? I'm afraid so. It's time to go back to where I belong. I'll tell you what, kid. You find your own path out there. Goku! One day, we will fight again. And well, just before Goku vanishes, Gine says just one more thing. One day, I hope my youngest son Kakarot can grow to be just like you. And Goku just sort of rubbing his head in that gesture and laughing. Just flattered. Of course, none of them ever worked out that Goku was in fact an older version of their son. But Gine does say, after he disappears, that he will miss that boy. And well, a tear actually ran down her face too, a tear that she just can't explain why. And well, now that Goku was now back in his own time, it was now time to finish off the rest of the training with Kami. Goku had, since increased his power quite a bit, especially after the match with Bardock. He's now, needless to say, when we head to the events of the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, with events pretty much running on mostly per normal, except that Goku pretty much dominates his fight with Piccolo Jr. in the end, him being much stronger in this reality, being introduced to gravity training. He then asks Bulma if she can go ahead and build him some sort of chamber that could simulate gravity. And well, she actually does that and recommends that his friends try this as well. And well, this basically is what goes down within the 5-year time skip, as we get to Goku's marriage with Chi-Chi, Gohan being born, and basically him spending a lot of time in the grav chamber. Krillin and the others are doing the same thing because they don't want Goku getting too far ahead. But however, Goku being a Saiyan, he is getting more out of the training than his human friends are. So there does begin to be quite a noticeable power gap between the lot of them. And we're talking 5 years in this gravity chamber. 5 years. And well, planet Earth is about to get its new visitor, and that would be in the form of Raditz, the returning of Goku's brother. Now, Goku never really telling Raditz where he came from back in his little time-traveling trip. Well, let's just say I think part 2 is going to be very interesting. And this is where we're going to leave things for right now, with Raditz's arrival on planet Earth. So what do you guys think? How are things going to go when Raditz comes face to face with Goku this time? He already knows that Kakarot is his brother, but how is he going to deal with the fact that he did get to meet his brother at least once before during Kami's little time-traveling training exercise for Goku? You know? Is this going to change Raditz's motive slightly? All this and more next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more what-if-ery. Catch you later. Oh, I actually lost my trail of thought there. Okay, catch you later.